Continuing on in the series of Vornado versus comparison, we have a first gen P-223 Kmart branded Lakewood box fan, and versus the Vornado brand new 2025 Model 80. And just so if you wonder, like, hey, what's hanging out kind of in the background, I see something behind the Vornado. So like when the Lakewoods show up, they show up in force, and the P-223 brought some backup just in case it needed it. And that backup is a Lakewood P-25. Yes, even the P-25 came out for this. So he's watching. He's on looking to see the results here. He may have to get involved. That could be a preview. All right, so back to what we're talking about here. So Vornado, ball bearing, 18 inches, 5-speed, with the Venturi ring on both sides. I mean, I kind of call it like a hurricane, but it's like, it would remind you of a kind of a floor fan. The motor's mounted into the rear grille, which I think looks cool when these things are on, because it gives, to me, it reminds me of McGraw Edison, because you just see, it just looks like the hub is just kind of floating there in the center. Because on those Edison fans, the rear mounted guard, like the supports are so thin you don't see them quite clearly. Versus this pristine, we've had this is kind of, to me, a fan that doesn't get used that often because of the condition it's in. Eddie was using it at the condo location for a while this winter when he was there, but pretty much it's going to go back to museum status, just because, I mean, I don't think there's a single slat broken on this fan. No, there's not, and there's like no yellowing on it, so I really don't want to harm it in any way. I do have a second gen Kmart version that the grill's kind of messed up, and I told that story. Cleaning people in the past somehow ripped the fan out of the window by the cord and damaged the grill, and the grill already had yellowing on it. So that fan, I don't mind if it gets used and the finish isn't as great, but this one is a really good example of one. But it's not too good to come out and play now and again. So what we're gonna do is, and I say this in a lot of videos, and the poor Vornado, because right away I come out of the gates and say I like the other fan better. And the reason why I do that is because, I mean, one, just look at this. Like, this is, I always love the blade set. It's my favorite blade set on all the 3 generations of these things. The sharper edge blades and the opening in the hub. By the way, that opening makes life easier for oiling because you can just run that zoom spout right into the oil port and be done. Just a handsome fan. The color is awesome. It's just great. So there alone, it wins in my book. And plus, I like a traditional box fan. Handle on top, switch on top, thick cabinet so you can use it on exhaust or intake, not have to finagle it in the window because the cabinet's so darn thin and cheap, or it dents so easily. That being said, this sucker is rugged. Despite there's plastic everywhere, it's rugged, it's heavy, it's a ball bearing motor. You're not gonna really use it on exhaust. 99% of people tend to use fans on intake or have them blowing air at them. We like to use our fans on exhaust for the most part here, but where we use this, it works perfectly because we have it on intake. Okay, so 5-speed versus 3-speed. So on the lower speeds, we'll kind of play around a little bit, and then we'll just kind of go through and do a little comparison. So let's start out with low on the Lakewood. Very typical Lakewood 223, regardless of generation, just kind of a slow, quiet low that puts out steady air. The hub looks cool with those openings. So this is on low, makes more noise. I think they're equivalent in putting out air. As I've stated in other comparison videos, this has a narrower band, but as we get up in speeds, it tends to be more forceful because it's forcing it through a round area. This likely will have a broader band for the air, still fairly forceful, but not like this. This is like a hurricane. So let's hop it up one speed. I would say this is equivalent to what that low is. This is clearly noisier. Okay. Let's do medium. Oops, that's high. So here's medium. This fan is such pristine condition, like a lot of them, these Lakewoods, when the switches start to wear a little bit, there's kind of like a plastic creak when you change the speeds. This doesn't even have that. So very wide band of air, fairly quiet. You can fall asleep to that. Feels good. All right, let's try to find somewhat of a medium here. So this is what we're talking about for medium. I would say they're about equal. Maybe for what this doesn't make up in wide range, well, this makes up for kind of in velocity. So pretty close, I would say. Let's go right to high. Oh, hold on to your hats and your eardrums. This moves a lot of air. However, if you come right here, where my hand is, I don't feel it. You come right down, it's blowing you away. That is going to be tough to match in pure velocity. So forceful, it's powerful. Like I'm taking this over, like a 3733 would have no business being in a conversation with this Lakewood. So this is a powerful fan. I would say more powerful than like a Pro Power, Power Plus models, premium Lasco box fans. This is superior. Now, it is not as powerful. I'm going to say it. It's not as powerful in terms of air velocity or force as the Vornado. I mean, Vornado is like, it's like a hurricane. That is very, very forceful. Again, this has a broader band because of its size, 20 inches versus 18 inches. It would have been very interesting if they just made these 2 inches larger. I wonder if it's for cost, like if they would have had to charge like another $10, $15, $20 for this thing if they made it 20 inches because of materials or whatever they would have to do. There has to be some research. I'm sure Vornado is a smart company of smart people working there. I am sure that the product management folks did their research and there is a reason it's 18 inches versus 20 inches. Maybe I noticed a lot of homes have kind of smaller windows these days and maybe that's why. I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. It would be really nice. I'd be surprised if anyone who works at Vornado sees this video, but it would be awesome to kind of hear why they chose 18 over 20 inches because if they applied this same technology to a 20-inch box fan, whoa, look out. Whoa, look out. Okay, all right, so let's wrap this one up or start to head into the final stretch. So cabinet-wise, yeah, I mean, the Lakewood is thick and solid. This is no slouch, it's just a little smaller. Lakewood, you know, you don't need any feet or anything like that. You don't need any feet for the the Vornado either, but if you're going to use it in a window and exhaust, you are not going to. If you're going to use it on a window and exhaust, you are not going to use that one. It would just be too much of a pain with the control panel there. Where this you can. Just a quick comparison in the rear. I always loved how the light blue contrasts with the white. It just looks so cool. Better than the tan color ones, I think. And then that's not much to really look at. I don't want to look at that. The front's interesting to look at, but it's not a classic box fan. All right, well, express your comments in the comment box and let me know what you think. And if there's any other special comparisons you want to see, we'll do it. I'm taking the Kmart all day, and just a preview of what's to come. Stay tuned. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you soon.